Hey everybody, it's Jason from Parallel Reality coming back with here today with an article from Red State dated June 26th, and it's called More Details Emerge on That CNN Defamation Lawsuit You Probably Haven't Heard About. So remember when Fox got sued after the last election, and CNN was going real hard at Fox, like they don't tell you the truth because they got sued for defamation. Well, what goes around comes around. So I hadn't heard about this, and I thought this would be a really good thing to say, or a really good thing to talk about. So it says, dispute, Jake Tapper said, with a twist of his head, the derision he delivered obvious to viewers. Tapper was hosting his CNN show The Lead and reading Fox's news statement following the network's settlement with Dominion Voting Systems. Tapper's mockery was on display as much as it was heard in his delivery of the prepared words. We are pleased to have reached a settlement of our dispute, and he repeated the word with a chuckle, with Dominion Voting Systems. We acknowledge the court's rulings finding certain claims about Dominion to be false, his theatrics continued. As this settlement reflects, I'm sorry, this is going to be difficult to say with a straight face. This settlement reflects Fox's continued commitment to the highest journalistic standards. We are hopeful that our and he cut off, and I'm about to sneeze. All right, well, let's just leave that in because whatever, it's a shit show around here. It says, then the professional host lapsed into mockery with a forced laugh. It says, we are hopeful that our decision to resolve this dispute with Dominion amicably, instead of the acrimony of a divisive trial, allows the country to move forward from these issues. And this was Jay putting on a show, and I remember when he did that, and he certainly was looking to be heard above the chorus of other news outlets scorching Fox News, condemning the rival network with condescension. The delivery implying that Fox could no longer be considered a news network was evident. It was also delusional, as we were to believe that CNN was above such issues, as it is a reputable outlet that adheres to rigid journalistic standards, which is clearly just not true. It says, we just needed to bypass the fact that his network had previously been embroiled in a defamation case of its own, settling with a high school student, Nick Sandman. Yeah, it's like they're sitting there giving Fox crap, but it's like, guys, have you looked in a mirror lately? Now, Red State has exclusive new details regarding how CNN is dealing with another defamation case, one involving a report that was seen on none other than, wait for it, The Lead with Jake Tapper. There's scant coverage of this potentially massive case across those previously hectoring outlets that were so critical of Fox, despite the fact that it could carry a judgment figure eclipsing the $787 million settlement Fox News reached with Dominion. The compensatory and punitive damages may well approach the $1 billion level. Oh no, CNN, what did you do? Says, as we previously reported, a Florida appellate court recently ruled that Zachary Young, a private contractor who worked to evacuate U.S. citizens from Afghanistan during the disastrous 2021 withdrawal, had presented sufficient evidence to pursue punitive damages in his defamation suit against CNN related to a report filed by CNN's Alex Marquardt. Scrolling down. Says, during the disaster-ridden expulsion of American troops from Afghanistan, Young was a contractor for hire who offered to evacuate U.S. citizens from the country. Marquardt's report framed Young as reckless and opportunistic, and Young seeks to show in his defamation suit that aspects of Marquardt's report were not only deeply factually flawed, but malicious. These details were found by the court to be sufficient enough to move forward to a trial. In an exclusive interview with Young and his attorney, more specifics about the case came to light, tending to show that Tapper's condescension may have involved a severe case of projection. Young explained, when they first approached me, they led me to believe it was to have me provide background on my line of work. It turned out that I was the main focus, but they allowed me little input. This indicates how the CNN production was engaged in what is a too common practice in journalism, spending time to build a story about a subject and then only contacting the subject or person very late in the process. Young's lawyer explained this in the presentation to the court, stipulating how once Young was finally contacted for the story about him and his work, he was only given hours before a deadline. And as we previously reported, there are two glaring realities concerning CNN. Internal communications at the network, obtained by Young's team, showed there were concerns with Marquardt's report lacking factual substance, and yet it was pushed into the airwaves. Then there are the instances where it appears that voices in the production, including Marquardt, sought to negatively impact Young's work. Young stated that at one point he sought out Marquardt to correct a number of portions of his reporting, but he was rebuffed. The internal communications showed a number of those inside CNN questioned the veracity of the report and even called to delay it for a broadcast until more could be fleshed out. Wow, there's actually people at CNN that have some sort of common sense when it comes to this. That is a bit surprising. Instead, it appears to have been rushed onto the air. Some of the voices questioning the story even declared there was not sufficient content for the report to run on the CNN digital side. With the complaint of malicious intent, the court activity shows some revealing components. Of particular concern was the use of the term black market to describe Young's business operations. Yeah, that's defamatory right there. Because despite having a legitimate operational business at the time, Nemex Enterprises Incorporated, Young's argument in the summary judgment is that CNN presented him as working in the black market to imply directly he was an illegal operator. Yep, that's what that means, because this is where CNN lawyers were focused in their defense. In their argument, heard in the video above, and certainly you can go back and replay that if you want, the link is in the description below, the CNN team insisted the use of black market was to suggest Young's work was unregulated, not illegal, but I think everybody knows what black market means, as this was countered by the submission of not just numerous dictionary terms, but also those in judicial records, which was also uniformly recognized the term as an indication of illegal activity. This argument by CNN was so roundly dismissed that one member of the appellate panel asked the editorial vetting at the network, so these are lawyers and professional writers that, are used to dealing with words and have dictionaries and know how precise what words mean? Then things turned desperate as the CNN lawyers stated how black market was not actually used during the discussions within the editorial teams, attempting to say that, in the context of punitive damages, it was the plaintiff's burden to show the intended meaning behind the use of the term. Making this an odd defense is that, editorially discussed or not, the fact is the various reports concerning Young and his business described him as a black market worker, with on-screen graphics under his image also stating this to be the case. The CNN lawyer ultimately had to admit to being a poor choice of words on their behalf. You think? This mischaracterization also falls in line with the various communications unearthed in the discovery phase, where Marquardt and his producers shared exchanges where they were targeting Zachary Young. He is referred to in vulgar terms, and the intent appears to bring him down to professionally. These are much like the very activities Jake Tapper was noting about Fox News to denigrate that network as not a legitimate news outlet. Here, we appear to have evidence of virtually the same activity taking place not only on his network, but on his own program. Oh, whoops! All this points to a case with enough validity to move forward toward a trial for both compensatory and punitive damages. The fact that the sum involved could reach such a stratospheric level would indicate a possible motivation for CNN to reach a settlement with Young before going to trial. This would be done to both stem the exorbitant penalty and to avoid widespread exposure of defamatory practices. Young's legal team says they are concentrating on the details for building their case, and a settlement is not their primary focus. Yeah, I'd drag these assholes. That's all I'm going to say. They're going to be smug about, like Jake Tapper, about Fox's thing. And again, I'm not a Fox News watcher at all. I don't really watch the news, but CNN is not the group of people that gets to sit here and say, oh, those guys did something, and then especially when they've done something that may end up being worse. So I don't know if you've heard about this, though. Like I said at the beginning, so have you heard about this at all? Let me know in the comments below. What do you think should happen? And like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.